Hey guys, I thought I would do a DVD collection. This is my horror film collection. I have a fairly good amount of horror films. This will be part one of this series, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. We have Friday the 13th Uncut. This is a great horror film, and this is the uncut version, so it's better than the previous release. Friday the 13th Part 2. This is probably the crappiest sequel in the Friday the 13th series besides Jason X. Friday the 13th Part 3. This one is in 3D. Even though the 3D is crappy, it's still good to own a copy of this film in 3D. Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. In my opinion, the last great Jason movie till the new one. What can you say? It's pretty decent-ish. Friday the 13th Part 8, A New Beginning. Probably the cheesiest of the Jason films. There's not really that much to say about this. It gets pretty corny, and I can't describe it. Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. This is probably the dumbest one in the series, and it's only the last 20 minutes of this movie take place in Manhattan. Like, most of the movie takes place on a boat. It's pretty stupid. Friday the 13th, the new one, The Killer Cut. And fortunately, the store that I bought this, The Killer Cut isn't in this version. It's actually the R-rated version, which I was pretty sad, but it's still a good movie. That's all my Jason films. We have A Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. These are all pretty crappy sequels. I would only recommend watching the sequels if you're a true hardcore Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I mean, they're pretty pointless. We have Stephen King's It. This is a great film, even though it's a TV movie. It's not really that scary. It's entertaining to watch. The book is long. I can't even watch the movie. Or the book. I can't read the book because it's so long, but it's still pretty good to have. We have Scream, Wes Craven's classic Scream. This is really a true favorite of mine. I absolutely adore this film, and a lot of you have already seen it. Scream 2. It's a fairly decent movie. I personally think 3 was a little bit better than Scream 2. It's a decent entry into the series. I hardly can't wait for Scream 4. Paranormal Activity. Everybody has seen Paranormal Activity. I do have number 2, but it is currently not in my possession. A friend is borrowing it, but it's pretty decent. Poltergeist. I love this movie. This was Steven Spielberg and Tobe Hooper team up, and it doesn't really scare me. I mean, this was going to be R-rated apparently, but they gave it a PG rating. It's not really scary, but it's entertaining to watch. Phantasm. I'm not really a Phantasm fan. This is really the only one that I like in the series. I've seen all the sequels. It's pretty dumb. I mean, it's a classic. If you like that, I mean, this was one of them cheap ones from the '70s. It's a decent movie, but it's not too good. The Grudge. This movie absolutely terrified me when I first saw it. I saw this in theaters, and oh my gosh, this movie was terrifying, especially where that girl is like looking up in that closet and she just gets yanked up into the closet. This movie was scary. I mean, you will be terrified when you watch this movie. Hostel. It's not really scary. It's produced by Quentin Tarantino. It's it's not really scary. It's really a lot of nudity and just a lot of gore. I have not seen the third one, or the second one, and there is a third one. I saw it on IMDb, but it either hasn't been released yet or it hasn't been released on DVD. But they said they made it in 2010. But it's, I mean, the comments on this, the scariest movie in a decade. This is not scary. It's really just disgusting, and I don't know. I can't describe it. Saw. I don't think I need to describe Saw. Everybody has seen this movie. Saw 2. This is probably my least favorite sequel in the Saw series. I'm not a huge Saw fan. I have been following the movies. It's a decent sequel, but it's not my favorite in the series. Saw 3. This is probably my favorite sequel. This really, they just really started turning away from the original one, right from Saw 2. Saw 3 is a decent sequel. I mean, again, they're not the best movies made in the world, but they're pretty good. Saw 6. Again, this is a really good sequel. The traps in this movie are pretty neat. Oh, you know, it's, again, just a cheesy plot with a lot of traps mixed in. Everybody's seen the Saw movies. The Evil Dead. This is a really scary movie. I did a review on this film. I can't describe it. It's just really scary, and you have to watch it for yourself. Evil Dead 2. I did a review on this one as well. This one I think is even better than the original one. It's really scary and just truly gory. I mean, you don't get let down with this one. Army of Darkness. Yes, I did a review on this. It's pretty weird. I can't say anything about that. It's crap. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one. This is a really good movie. Gosh, I don't know how to describe this. It's really nothing like the original one was. This does feature R. Lee Emery, and he was the general in Full Metal Jacket, which is a movie I just reviewed not 2 hours ago. But again, it's a good film, I guess. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This one was really weird. This explains Leatherface's origins, and his name is Tommy or Thomas. This has the original family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's pretty good to watch. It's pretty entertaining. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everybody has seen this movie at least one time. It's pretty good. I'll have to do a review on this. Halloween. Everybody's seen Halloween. Michael Myers escapes a mental asylum and kills babysitters in this movie. It's pretty good. Pretty good. No blood, but still pretty good. Halloween 2. This is, I think, when the series makes its drastic turn, because in this movie and on, it follows the theme of him killing babysitters, or not babysitters, killing family members. Now, how could they go from babysitters to family members? I don't know. You'll have to ask John Carpenter. He wrote this movie. I don't know. Halloween 4 and Halloween 5, again, are pretty crappy. Halloween 4 is decent. Halloween 5 is crap. They're both pretty gay. Halloween 5 is even 10 minutes longer than Halloween 4, so that's even more gayer. You'll have to watch these. It's basically Michael Myers trying to hunt down his niece in these two movies. Again, he's killing babysitters. Pretty crap. Garbage. Don't watch. Halloween H2O. This was a really good sequel. After that garbage of a sequel for Curse of Michael Myers, they finally lived up to the original with Halloween H2O. This is a terrific entry in the series. I highly recommend this if you are a fan of the Rob Zombie Halloweens, or if you haven't watched all of the sequels. That's a good one. Rob Zombie's reimagining of Halloween. I can't say anything about this. It's really good. This really was a decent remake. I mean, a better remake than some of the other ones that are being made today. Everybody's probably seen this. It's pretty good. Halloween 2. This has a pretty low rating on IMDb, which I'm actually kind of surprised. This movie actually wasn't that bad. I mean, doesn't live up to Rob Zombie's original, but still, I mean, it's not the worst Halloween movie ever made. And there is a planned Halloween 3. So I personally don't know, after the ending of Halloween 2, how they can make a sequel to that, but we'll find out soon. Pet Sematary. This is a terrific movie. I read the book. This is one of the movies where I read the book after I watched the movie. You won't be disappointed when you see this. This features Fred Gwynne, and you remember him from The Munsters, or My Cousin Vinny. Oh man, this movie really terrified me. You will absolutely adore this movie after you watch it if you're a true horror fan, or if you like Stephen King books and you haven't watched hardly any of the movies. A lot of you have probably seen this, but it's a good movie. The Chucky series. This only does not feature the first one. This has Child's Play 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, and Seed of Chucky. All of them are terrible, except for maybe Bride of Chucky. Child's Play 2 loosely takes place after Child's Play. Child's Play 3 was basically, it's Andy grown up and he's in an army camp and Chucky is stalking him. It's pretty gay, and Bride and Seed of Chucky are pretty gay. Pointless too. That's the end of part 1. I will return with my horror collection in part 2.